Welcome back. Lethabo continues to make a name for herself through her food from Lethabo's Kitchen social media platforms. Lethabo's versatile cooking style and food content creation has gained her thousands of followers on foodstagram, that is. Well, Lethabo is on Zoom with us this morning for a quick chat about her love for food and cooking. Very good morning to you, Lethabo. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, Lethabo. Tell us more about how you discovered that you actually have this love and passion for food and cooking.
Oh, basically, I worked a 9 to 5 and I didn't like eating boring food. So after work, I would come back and try to make easy meals, but still flavorful. So, and then that's how I discovered I loved food. And I used to just post, and my friends would be the ones that would see it. And someone suggested that I open an Instagram page and share my recipes. And that's how it started.
Now, back to, easy meals, be it flavorful, and so many people get it wrong. How do you do it right? I mean, because people expect that a simple meal is just bland, with no character.
Listen, when it comes to easy meals, you need to get the flavors right,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
But the most important thing is knowing that you need to use less ingredients. So most people think when you talk about a flavorful meal, you have to add 10 spices or 10 different sauces just to get the flavors, but it's knowing which flavor goes with what sauce.
Yes,
and
yes.
I always say, when I advise people, they used to, you just need basic things in your house, things that we grew up using in our homes. Those things actually make your food flavorful. It's just how you prepare them.
You're quite right there, that you should know what spice or what flavor goes with what food. Because we're not totally just chicken spice with beef and, well, it happens. Anyway, how would you describe your style of cooking and the food and the recipes that you develop?
Okay, I love everything colorful. I love color, I love everything hearty. It's always seasonal. So during winter, I like making my stews, and I love salads as well and poke bowls. I love making things that are appealing to the eye, because you always eat with your eye first before you actually eat your food. So I enjoy making that type of food. And one thing that I'm big on, and I love to keep it traditional, is making my Sunday meals. So that's one thing that I'm very big on social media, that still keeping that 7 colors at home. So I love making Sunday meals and teaching people how to make sure that their Sunday meals, they can elevate them and just make them more flavorful for their families.
How do we make seven colors? I'm hearing someone in my ear saying that it's not actually 7 colors, but several colors. How do you make it, special and not predictable?
No, it's about adding, just adding a twist. I would have, maybe even if you check on my page, I would have a beef stew. One day I would add butter beans to the beef stew just to make it different. The other day I would add cream to it. The other day maybe I would add mushrooms. And then I would add a paste maybe that we've never seen, maybe like a Korean paste, just to change the flavor and make it very different every Sunday. I mean, you can basically have a beef stew every Sunday, but make it very different so that it doesn't feel like you're repeating the same meal every single Sunday.
Right. Let's talk about some of your favorite recipes, the food that you like to eat and cook.
My favorite, and I think it's our family favorite, we always love pasta. Anything that has to do with pasta is our favorite meal. And I think even at home, we've also taught the little ones how to make pasta. Pasta with tin fish, the ultimate favorite. And pasta with mint, favorite. Pasta with cream, we love pasta, and we also love salads. So our basic Greek salad, that is one thing that we enjoy making.
And your presence on social media is quite remarkable, I'll tell you that. Now, tell us more about your content and why you think so many people can relate to it.
One thing that I always say, I'm very relatable in a sense of the things that I use. Like I said earlier, I don't use things that are not accessible. I would use your basic spices that you find in any retail store, but it's how I use the spices. So I would teach you instead, because when you were growing up, you would put your meat in your pot first and then add your spices after, whereas I would teach you how to toast your spices before you even add your meat so that they elevate flavor in them. So I think that is the one thing that's quite different from every other person because I feel like I show you how to elevate what you already have. I show people like, okay, this is what you grew up using, still continue using it, but this is how you can make it, you can change it up or elevate it even more further.
And having said that, what are some of your go-to ingredients that you never short off in your kitchen?
I am never short. I know I always have paprika. Paprika is one spice that I always have.
Okay.
And I know most people are going to go, oh, but I love 6-gun spice. That is my favorite. I can brine with it. I can also cook with it. And you can never run out of tomato sauce and mayonnaise. I mean, who knew when we were growing up, who knew you can add tomato sauce into your cooking? It's one of the things because it has so many ingredients in. And tomato paste. Tomato paste elevates any type of meal. You can add it to your rice, you can add it to your chicken, you can add it to your beef, you can add it to your lamb. Tomato paste, you just need to firstly cook it, make sure that it has that slight bend to it, and then you're done. Your meal just gets elevated from there.
Now, speaking of 6-gun grill, no disrespect, I know, right? No disrespect, but someone told me that the 6-gun grill is for people who either cannot cook or just lazy to cook. Fact or fiction?
No. It's how you use it. You know what?
There we go.
When something is overused, right? Or even like it's because people overuse it. There's a way of using it, and then I love it. You know what? With that spice, it's a mixture of it in between. Like there's a bit of sweetness to it and a bit of saltiness. So it's how you manage to balance the flavors in there.
Yes. Lethabo, what are some of the key lessons you've learned so far when it comes to food and cooking?
Okay, one of the key lessons is slow cooking. I grew up thinking if I want my food to cook faster, I need to put my heat on high. And that's one of the biggest lessons, that when you want your meat to come out softer, it's a matter of making sure that you cook it on slow heat. And again, one of the things that I've mastered and I think I've been sharing a lot is prep. When it comes to cooking, make sure that you prep everything ahead of time so that you don't have any mishaps in your kitchen, and clean as you go. Once you start cleaning as you go in your kitchen, like that, those things help so that you don't spend 4 or 5 hours in the kitchen. Like when we were growing up, my mother would wake up 5 in the morning, starts cooking on a Sunday morning. By 1 o'clock, she's still cooking. But it's because of, so it was a normal Sunday routine. But those are the things that I've learned in my kitchen to say, listen, if I want to make sure that my cooking gets faster, I cook faster and I make sure that everything runs smoothly, prep ahead of time.
Are you a fan of a pressure cooker?
I love a pressure cooker. I love a pressure cooker. Yes, I love a pressure cooker. But the only advice I always give when it comes to pressure cooking, don't immediately put anything, even if it's your meat, brown it first on the stove before you add it. I love for the fact that if I want to cook my salmon, it takes less time. Like you don't have to wait for your salmon for 2 to 3 hours to cook. It's a nice, it's a must-have for most kitchens because it just makes your cooking quicker.
All right. Lethabo, lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's Lethabo Hadima, and she's been speaking to us about her culinary journey and how she continues to make a name for herself through her Food from Lethabo's Kitchen social media platforms.